Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Eisel, and I chair the membership committee, and my tool belt is pretty full this morning. Membership does a lot of stuff. We like to party. And I'm told I'm not the only person in the room who's got a bottle of wine as a prop, which should tell you a little bit about us. We also do the communications. So we do the Facebook and the email, and with Pat's help, we have a new mini Thursday or whatever she's decided to call it. So whenever you hear from us, it's under the umbrella of membership. We're in charge of outreach. And so we like to fly our flags. We change them up about every month, and they display our values on our flags. And then finally, and I'd like to ask for some help from Janet Riggs and Ron Morrow. Could you come forward, please? They did not know this was going to happen. Yesterday, Janet and Ron both signed the membership book. And I forgot to give them their pins. This is the most joyful part of my job. That and the flags and the parties. And I like to check the email. Okay, I like my job. But we have plenty of spots for people to help under my umbrella and under everyone's umbrella. So what you're going to be hearing from today are the structure of our congregation and how you can make yourself part of it. And now I have a reading by Donna Warsnop. People often say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people, like Kaya and Boone. There are other kids downstairs if they want to go play. Yeah. Often people say they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. I know just what they're getting at, and I know that they aren't getting it quite right. I don't want to be with a bunch of people who think just like me. I want to be in a beloved community where I don't have to think like everyone else to be loved, to be eligible for salvation. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth, though they have different thoughts and opinions about all sorts of things. I want to be with independent-minded people of good heart. I want to be with people who have many names and no name at all for God. I want to be with people who see in me goodness and dignity, and who also see my failings and my foibles and still love me. I want to be with people who feel their interconnection with all existence and let it guide their footfalls on the earth. I want to be with people who see life as a paradox and don't always rush to resolve it. I want to be with people who are willing to walk the tightrope that is life and who will hold my hand as I walk it. I want to be with people who let church call them into very different ways of being in the world. I want to be with people who support, encourage, even challenge each other to higher and more ethical living. I want to be with people who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit. I want to be with people who covenant to be honest, engaged, and kind, and who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises I make. I want to be with the people who give of themselves, who share their hearts and minds and gifts. I want to be with people who know that human community is often warm and generous, sometimes challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you. Oh, I forgot, we also greet.
So, I'm Sally Shanahan, and I am the Aesthetics Committee. And so what we do is we start, we're going to restart hanging art on our walls. Speak louder? Yes, okay, so we're going to restart hanging art on our walls and hosting a First Friday wine and cheese. For the artists, and have an artist talk, which is really wonderful. And I also put the flowers in the wreath. If you saw the wreath half finished, please go out, admire, come back and tell me I'm awesome. So here's some art, amateur art, professional art, whatever kind of art we got. It'll be great fun. And so how you can help me. First of all, I just saw that we had a worn out aesthetics committee. They had been working hard for many years and wanted some reinforcements. So I said, hey, I can do that. I like that. And I already have a friend who said that, hey, I could help do with the wine and cheese, two of them actually. And so that's really what I need. I don't really like meetings. And so we'll never have a meeting, but we'll text a lot. And I'll say, can you please bring X on X day? And you could say yes or no. So that's how you could help me in the aesthetics committee. And also, if you like to screw things in walls, that would be great too. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm really glad I'm a Unitarian Universalist now, because then I could say that word over the pulpit. Okay. As we kindle this flame, may it spark in each of us connection and commitment to this living tradition, to each other. May it serve to give us clarity of purpose and illuminate our way as we set about doing the work of this congregation in commitment, in cooperation, and in love. Will you join in the unison affirmation? May the light of this flame and the weight of our words inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, serve the spirit of life in loving affection and trusting hope.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Dumont, standing in for the fabulous Betty Baker, who represents the Faith and Community Committee, and she could not be with us. So I want to tell you a little bit about what we do, and then I will share the Blue Note with you. So we are, I think, part of the heart of the UUG community. We are a welcoming congregation, and we welcome everybody all year long, but especially in June, we reach out to our LGBTQ plus members, and we participate in Pride. So look for an email coming very soon about how you can help us be even more welcoming in June. We support other do-gooders in the community. We donate to SCAP, the Soup Kitchen, and did you know that Manos Unidas also has a food pantry? So donate money, donate canned goods, reach out to help those in the community who may be less fortunate than we are. We also stand on the side of love. We love everybody. We reach out to anybody who needs help, affirmation, validation, and that encompasses so many people. So they have a great Facebook page. We do receive information in our emails, so make sure to pay attention to that. And I also have a copy of our pledge to end racism. which you can also find over there. We introduced that in November after working very hard on it. And this is a great community outreach effort. We have reached out to borough leadership, to the YWCA, and to others in the community because we feel strongly that, especially here in Gettysburg, we need to end racism now. I have just a few comments from Betty that I'm going to read. Some of the things that we've done is we've reached out to the Gettysburg Ministerium to invite them to participate in our pledge to end racism. As I mentioned, we've been working with the YWCA, and they host an anti-racism book group. We hosted the meeting last year, and borough leaders such as Patty Lawson and Mayor Rita Freeling attended our pledge service. You can sign our pledge if you have not done so on our website. Jason put it up there kindly, so it's very easy to sign. We've been working with other churches, particularly Cumberland Valley, on the 8th Principal Inquiry effort. Last Sunday, I don't know how many of you were here, but I really enjoyed the service by Reverend Dr. Denman. And we've also had Reverend Carla Christopher engage us in this work that we do that is so important. And they will both be back in the future, so keep an eye out for that. And we've engaged with Roger Lund, who is a local business leader, and he's going to help us reach out to businesses to further our work with the pledge. So if you would like to participate in our wonderful group, you do have some contact information for Betty Baker. We meet regularly, we're doing lots of hard work, and we hope that you'll join us. So now I will read the Blue Note. Every Sunday, the Unitarian Universalists of Gettysburg and many of our sister congregations hold up the voices of our Black and Brown siblings into each of our worship services. Today, we lift up the voice of Alandria Williams. Alandria, 1979 to 2020, served as co-moderator of the association alongside the Reverend Minister Barb Grieve from August 2017 to June 2020. Alandria was an incomparable leader, joyous presence, and indomitable force in our Unitarian Universalist community and beyond. She says, "Everything comes back to our congregations and covenanted communities. That is where the faith starts and ends. We must embody the changes we wish to see and not just say that we believe in the changes. We must actually live the changes and be willing to do the work with every fabric of our being. If we believe in the promise of our faith, we must continue pushing forward." Thank you.
Hello, I'm Florence March, and I am the current default choir director. And I am here to invite all of you to come and participate with us. As you know, music is such an important part of our worship service. And having the choir here and having the choir ready to lead us in songs really makes us a stronger congregation. And if you have music in your heart and you would like to be part of this, we want you. And if you have music where you wish you could, we want you. That the tool I brought actually is a screwdriver. And the reason that I brought the screwdriver is because I imagine most of you have this little tool at home. And some of you know how to use it a little bit. And some of you could benefit from being around the others of you who really know their skills with their with their screwdriver. Now, all of you have the tools to sing in the choir. Just like all of you have this, you've got your voice. You are all ready to dive right in and help us with the choir. Some of you are beginners, and some of you are masters. And the masters will teach the beginners, and we will all learn the songs before the service so that when we see the words on the screen up there, you'll already know the song and be able to jump right in. And when people haven't heard the songs before, you'll be able to lead them. Now, what's the commitment on this? We're keeping it it really simple this year, that we are singing once a month. We're rehearsing so far just once right beforehand because we're going to focus on things that are easy for everybody to participate in. So we hope that you will bring your voice to our choir. We meet on Wednesday evening this week at 6:30. I can give you more details if you're interested, but we would love to have you help us worship with music. Now, our opening music is number 6 in the gray hymnal, Just As Long As I Have Breath, and the words will be on the screen. Let's hear your best voices, and you can start making us all the choir today.
So, how did we do that? How did we do that? Said the mysterious voice from beyond. It's because of our tech team. Hello, everybody. Hey. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain is the phrase that we hear all the time. So, hello, everyone. I don't usually get to be up here. I can turn that off now. And everybody in Zoom. Yes, right now there is nobody steering, so let's hope that things don't go off the rails, because there ain't nobody back there. So how did we do that? We have our tech team volunteers. Chris is one of our volunteers. Jeremy there is one of our volunteers. We're a small group, but we're mighty, and I think that speaks for the whole church in general, really. We wrangle technology each week so that our community can worship in a hybrid way. That's a fancy term for Zoom and in person. We're always looking for folks who are comfortable with technology, comfortable with YouTube, comfortable with Zoom, that helps make worship happen. So some of the tools that we use, we have mice, remotes because we have this awesome TV here. Obviously, I need the script, which is always provided by the worship chair. And then there's all that virtual stuff, like I said, like YouTube, music, and video files, and PowerPoints, all that stuff that lives out there in the ether out there. So we use all those tools and we help to make worship happen. And we also, each week, we're able to demonstrate just how human we are when the computers win and we lose, is the phrase I'm going to use. So that's tech team. So I'm going to leave this, or I should take this with, shouldn't I? Oh, and a note. You don't have to be married to the worship chair to be the head of the tech team. It's not required.
For our time of meditation, our words come to us from Lynn Cox. I forgot my joy. Oh, well, then I guess I'll let you do that.
My joy is, I'm Sarah Paul, and my joy is the New Cups group here at UUG. We meet Wednesday nights, not every Wednesday. It is on our Facebook group, and if anybody's interested, they can contact myself or Rob Ferguson for more information. But in my tool belt, I have a few things. My stuff was too wide for my tool belt, so I had to improvise. I have the Drawing Down the Moon book, which we are reading and discussing. And I also have, I hope I hold it from the right angle, the Wheel of the Year that we follow all the holidays and turning. Thank you.
For our time for meditation, our words come to us from Lynn Cox. We travel together on a search for meaning, having come from many different places and bringing many different gifts to share for the journey. Bless those who bring the gift of courage. Bless those who bring the gift of love. Bless those who bring the gift of curiosity. Bless those who bring the gift of hospitality. Bless those who bring the gift of commitment and dedication. You are now invited to turn to your neighbors, to face one person at a time with focus and intention, and to give and receive the message, your gifts are welcome on this journey. If you need help remembering, the words are located on the screen and in the chat. Friends at home, you might send a private chat message to others by taking part in Zoom. I'll take a minute, and so you can bless and be blessed by 2 or 3 people near you. And if you choose not to participate out loud, you're welcome to fold your hands, close your eyes in meditation, and know that your neighbors appreciate you still from afar. Your gifts are welcome on this journey. Your gifts are welcome on this journey also, Jeremy. Thank you.
I forgot my other joy, my other hat, my other tool belt. Since the pandemic, we've actually grown here at UUG, and one of the new members, Stacy Germano, had a desire to start a youth group for her daughter who identifies as queer. And so after some talking and some organizing, Stacy and Sarah and myself and Peter and several other people have come together to offer a youth group particularly welcoming LGBTQ plus youth. And we now have total 9 kids, only 2 of whom appear at this moment in time to be cisgendered and heterosexual. So we've done a good job. But we came to the attention of collaborating for youth and the Children's Advocacy Network, and now our church is sucked into a larger community, hoping to help provide safe spaces for the young people in our communities. Some of you may know there was recently a trans teenager committed suicide by jumping in the line of traffic on a freeway. We never, ever, ever want that to happen again. And so we're all, anybody who's interested in doing that work, contact me. And if you have teenagers in your lives, 13 to 18, bring them to us. We meet on the 1st and the 3rd Fridays of the month. And we've also, the first month is always educational. So we've had a presentation by Rob. We've had a presentation and an activity that we'll hear about from Lydia. They want to do a zombie apocalypse workshop, which we will do. We will meet that need. Yeah. So there you go. If you have any interest in zombies, you can also let me know.
This boot it made for walking, and that's not what I do. Hi, I'm Eleanor Pella, and it is so important for me to be part of this church. Our community, as Reverend Cindy has taught me, all of us in this room wear so many hats. You're a friend, you're a sister, you're a teacher, you're a mother, you're a grandmother. We're all so used to juggling, even though we don't see ourselves that way. And I do wear a couple of hats in this church where I want to share with you today. But the other thing I want to bring to your attention is, how many of you in here are teachers? Yeah. And there's a saying that we teach what we don't know. And I love that because you learn when you do that. If you teach what you don't know, you learn something. And so I tell you that because if you feel like, oh, I can't do that, I don't know anything about that, you'll learn. And I'm learning a lot by all the hats I wear here. One of the hats that I wear is that I have now taken over the stewardship committee from Bonnie Overholser, who's done it for probably as long as I've been here, 10, 15 years. That's kind of stewardship. Well, that was to remind you that in 820 hours, and yes, I'm counting, we will finally have our church auction. And it will be fun. And so many of you have donated parties and calligraphy classes and jewelry making and yard work. So that's April 22nd across the street because we need so much room. But stewardship, even though it says stew, which is food to me, it's really about keeping enough grass in your yard for all the sheep to eat. And so that's what the stewardship committee does, is we make sure to plant enough grass that in all of our ministries, that all the sheep here in this church, outside this church, and even the larger UUA community, that we have enough grass that we can not smoke, but we can feed people with. So if you'd like to be part of the stewardship, we've just ended our campaign, and my eyes were like, wow, what a giving group. So I thank you for your gifts, whether it be time or talent, but talents are what keep the lights on. Talents, meaning dollar signs, are what keeps Cindy, a minister here, part-time, and lets us have television and cameras and gay pride ice cream socials and so many things. Stewardship, if you'd like to get involved, we'd love to have you. The other thing that we do in this church and have for many years doesn't really fall under stewardship, but it's the soup kitchen. And every 5th Friday of the month, and I think there are 4 or maybe 5, it's not often, our church provides the meal at the soup kitchen. Ron Gilbert is sitting back there. Ron, raise your hand. He used to be the chef, and he'd do all the cooking when it was the Unitarians' turn to feed. But now, since COVID, we just take food to them. This coming Friday, we'll be serving macaroni and fish sticks. And I know Lauren Gilb has helped sometimes. So now we just buy the food and take it to them. But speaking of food, this church has let me carry on something that has always been near and dear to my GI tract, and that is the concept that as Unitarians, we can be better when we feed ourselves well. And so as a retired dietitian who's always had an interest in fiber and farting, I have always had vegetarian groups. And so now we have Meatless Monday, and it is the 4th Monday of every month, which is a week from tomorrow. And we invite people to come. You don't have to bring anything the first time you come, but we're trying to get whole foods that are not processed, plant-based, and you bring a recipe and you share. And the wonderful thing about potlucks is they're the most active faith you've ever seen. They feed so many people. You never know what there will be. And so I invite you to join our Meatless Mondays. Thank you so much. And last but not least is anytime you get involved or give of your time, you'll get so much more back and you'll learn so much. So thank you, UUG, for letting me learn so much.
And now for, Lydia, your turn. Come on up.
Please stay tuned because I'm talking to all of you, not just you that have bad dogs. That's your problem. But everybody is affected by the animal ministry. In 1987, the now named UUAM began nationally. There are chapters throughout the United States and Canada, all having various interests and focuses on humans, and non-human animals. At this time, the UUG chapter is focused on providing pet food for those needing additional support. At this point, we provide 5 local food pantries with cat and dog food. Are we solving the problems of pets going hungry? Not even close. But we are addressing the problem, and we are shining a light on the problem and getting food pantries to consider working on this need along with those of their human clients. This project requires quite a bit of fundraising, like dog scarves, in all sizes. I don't know what dropped. We can certainly use people to help us with that. We need a new member to encourage all of you to call Purina and get coupons sent to your house, and then you turn them over to us, because you can only do it once a month to one address. I've figured that out. So if everybody did it, you could turn them over to us or actually use them for your own needs. We also have public service pieces that we hand out. And in this season, we are providing information on bees. We are trying to inform people of the importance of having a strong bee environment. So if you would like to take home a more appropriate size bee habitat, there are some in the back with directions on what to do. By all means, take one home to hang in your yard. They're also going to be hanging at the instructional gardens at the Ag Center. And they're going to be, they're kind of excited about this project as well. And those on Zoom, if you will please email me, I can either tell you how to make one, or I can see that you get one of the ones that are there that I brought today. At the state level, the hunting culture in Pennsylvania brings many points of discussion and concern. Ministry members, along with all of you, are encouraged to bring attention to these issues with your lawmakers and in public forums. It's difficult to talk about the welfare of non-human animals without examining your food choices. Shifting to a diet rich in plants can reduce global warming and tends to provide a more healthy diet. And where do you get your ideas? You go to Eleanor's Meatless Mondays. Having said that, the breakdown of our committee is a vegan who has been that way for most of her life, to a vegetarian, to those who rarely have a meatless meal. So you'll be welcomed for sure. Oh, and stay tuned for an announcement about a cooking class in collaboration with the YWCA. On more worldly news, my koala. Okay, now you don't find koalas in Pennsylvania, but I also know that eventually you won't find wild koalas in Australia either. We humans are quickly losing ground when it comes to global environments and sustaining our rich wildlife. This ministry encourages everyone to support groups that are working towards the animals that we are losing on a daily basis. A new member could delve into that more completely. Our committee meets once a month. Why have I got more stuff in here than I had? Oh, well. The committee meets on a Sunday after services. Accommodations could be made for you if you need to attend virtually. We keep the sad stories, the gruesome stories, to a bare minimum. Not that there aren't plenty of horrible stories. But better we concentrate on what we can accomplish. If you understand or wish to learn more about the interconnection with the non-human animals, please consider joining us. People don't need to be involved in UUG. In fact, we have some people that are helping us that don't attend church, here anyway. Everyone is welcome to be part of our animal ministry. All you have to do is roll up your sleeves and commit. The possibilities are endless, and we can use your talents, and the work is rewarding, I assure you. Chris wanted me to be whoopee-doo. Well, I don't do whoopee-doo, but I sure do enjoy this work. I have done this kind of thing all my life, but I'll tell you, the experiences I've had lately have just been absolutely fabulous. The people I have met that I didn't know in Gettysburg, I didn't think there were too many people I didn't know in Gettysburg, are fantastic. And so I want you all to be part of that experience as well. Thank you.
Our closing words today are adapted from a writing from J. Libby. It is a call and response. As I read each statement during the pause, you are encouraged to respond, "We thank you." When there was a need, you came forward. We thank you. In the nighttime or daytime, on weekends, and even in the coldest, darkest part of the year, you helped. We thank you. Elected and duly appointed, or quietly, anonymously, and unbidden, you did what needed doing. We thank you. Sometimes with the help of many hands, other times alone, you worked. We thank you. You gave your time, talent, and even your treasure for the life of the congregation. We thank you. Your families and loved ones supported you in your efforts, worried for you when things piled up, or perhaps grumbled at you for the extent of your commitment. We thank you. For all who are willing to pitch in, even if you've not been able to do so before, we thank you. For all things great and small you have given and will continue to give this congregation, we take time today to recognize. We thank you. Our closing music today is number 128 in our gray hymnal, "For All That Is Our Life." And now, as we extinguish our chalice, would you please join in the unison response as on the screen and printed in your order of service? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fires of compassion. These we carry in our hearts and in our hands until we are together again. Whew, that was a lot. Yeah, and we're running long too, but there's one more committee you need to hear about, the worship committee. We are the ones who are responsible for ensuring that services like this and all other Sundays are organized. We work very closely with our quarter-time minister to ensure that the pulpit is filled each week, except the first Sunday in July, August, and September. We'll send you reminders. With a guest speaker or minister or lay-led within our own walls. Now, if you are comfortable talking in front of the group, I'm looking at our teachers and our lawyers, and you enjoy planning and organizing, you might find the worship committee to be a good fit. We have all kinds of tools at our disposal. Yes, we do. We've got the flamethrower, and we've got the candles to light our chalice, which is sacred in our community. We have our order of service. We have our time for joys and sorrows, which tie our community together. And of course, there's the music. My hymnal wouldn't fit in my bag, so I have it hanging on my hip today. Ours is a dedicated committee, including Sally Shanahan, Jamie Graham Thomas, Sarah Paulin, Eleanor Pella, and Chris Eisel. The time commitment for this group would be 4 productive quarterly meetings, and they're usually full of laughter, and it would also include one Sunday every 5 to 6 weeks to serve as the worship assistant here on the podium with either our minister or guest. Please talk to any of us to learn how we make it look easy, because really it is easy, if this is your skill set. Now, before we gather in our closing ritual, let me please remind you that there is a half sheet of paper that lists the names and contact information of the various individuals you've heard from today, if you feel that you have a connection and your gift could be shared at UUG. Thank you for your time and patience today as we told you a little bit more about what makes us, UUS, us. Please stand and join hands to participate in our closing ritual, the singing of safe passage.